question here?
I don't know. I mean, I just think, frankly, that it's information that these folks need, and I think they probably have half information and don't understand the implications of all this. But you know, the other thing I've learned in this business is you remain patient, and we have all the arguments that have been raised against this. I mean, there's just there's nothing that has the weight of the argument that we make. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to, look, I have a fundamental disagreement with people that don't see this. And I think over time, when they understand the reality of the opportunity for Ohioans, I think we'll get it done. It may take time, but every day, every week, every month, every year, till we get it done. It's just part of the process.
Is there a way to get around the Republicans in the General Assembly to do that?
No, I mean, they're the majority there. And look, again, with them, I think a lot of them just need information, and we intend to get them the information. When you take a look at what's happened in Texas, where they've exported their tax burden to Ohio, Oklahoma, where they've exported their tax burden outside of the state, North Dakota, which is exporting their tax burden out of state. I mean, that's why they have low taxes and high job growth. We have an opportunity to move the costs on somebody else so we can lower our taxes. I mean, it's just the way it ought to be. And again, we're not proposing some of the highest taxes in the country. We're proposing maybe the lowest in the country. The other thing is, in Pennsylvania, they're growing government with their tax. Here in Ohio, we're not. We're reducing taxes. And the other thing is, we also allow them up front to actually recoup their costs, something other states haven't done. You know, we have patterned a lot of this after a plan they had in Arkansas, which the industry actually was involved in writing. So it's pretty interesting, right, that on one hand, well, look, you understand industry on this too. If they can avoid paying, they will. But Ohioans ought to get their fair share.
There seems to be a fundamental opposition among Republicans about raising taxes at all, regardless of what
We're not raising taxes. I mean, how do you call something a tax increase when there is no tax increase?
On the front end, there is.
Well, no, but what do you mean? It's an automatic deal. We raise the taxes. We raise the severance tax, and all the money goes to lower the income tax. It's a net zero, and a gain for Ohioans.
There's fundamental opposition, I think, though, to raising the taxes under any circumstances.
Well, we're not raising taxes. We have a net
severance tax. I mean,
but you can't. We're not raising severance tax and using it to grow government. We're taking the severance tax and lowering taxes for 11.5 million Ohioans. That argument just, I mean, come on, you can make it. I respect the fact that you make it, but that's not a very strong argument. The bottom line is every Ohioan will benefit. And if we have low taxes, then either Ohioans get the advantage, or they ship the profits out of the state and reward their investors. I mean, it's just that simple.
What about Pennsylvania? You consistently point to that state as tax-wise is the way not to do this with shale.
Well, I said they were so confused. I mean, they have big battles over there in the legislature. And look, we don't even understand what their taxes are. They're just very confusing. And, you know, you have Philadelphia legislators that are grabbing some of the money, local governments. But, look, the single best state in the country right now is North Dakota. And they've got a tax on oil of 7%. Right now, on a barrel of oil that could be, what, $105? What do we get in Ohio? 20 cents on a $105 barrel of oil. If the public knew that, they would just be saying, please do this. So that's why I think we'll get there, because as information gets out, people see the purpose of it. The other thing you got to realize about Ohio is we need the investment in this state. We need these companies to keep some of their money here. We want them not only to employ our people, but the reasonable updating of the severance allows us to have more money in the pockets of Ohioans, which helps to drive economic development, forgetting even the reduction in the income tax. What it allows us to do is to have stronger community banks. It allows us to be stronger as a state. And if, you know, and look, I've talked to some business people, they have a hard time understanding what the problem is here. Now, depends if somebody's kind of got a vested interest and all that, you may not hear that, but you'll hear more and more of it from our business community, that it's the right thing to do for Ohio.